Sewing a perfectly fitted dress with stretchy fabric can be a challenge. If it's not too loose, then it's too tight, or you are having folds along the zip line. But obviously, the video you are seeing here is a well-finished dress made with stretchy fabric. If you would like to learn how I made this perfectly fitted dress with stretchy fabric, then watch this video to the end. Also, subscribe to this channel so that you can see the concluding part of this tutorial. Without wasting much time, let's get started.
The first step is drafting the pattern. The most important step in this tutorial is getting your measurements right. Once you do, you are already halfway into getting a perfect fit. So how do you get your measurements right for a stretchy fabric? One thing you must note is that you don't need your full horizontal measurements when working with stretchy fabric. You need to reduce them slightly because the fabric stretches. But by how much are you to reduce it? There is a formula to that, and that's why we are here. For this project, the horizontal measurements we are using are the bust measurement, the waist, and the hip. This project, I'm using 35 inches as the bust measurement, 28 inches as the waist, and 38 inches as the hip measurement. What we need is 90% of each of these measurements instead of the full measurement. So what that means is that we are multiplying each of these measurements I have mentioned by 0.9, and that will give us our new measurement that we are going to work with. This is what I mean. For bust, 35 multiplied by 0.9 will give us 31.5, and that will be our new round bust measurement. The same thing goes for the waist. 28 multiplied by 0.9 give us 25.2 inches, and hip 38 multiplied by 0.9 give us 34.2, and these are the new measurements we are going to work with in drafting our patterns. Please note that our vertical measurement or length measurement stays the same. So we move to point 2 now, that is marking and drafting the pattern. We start by marking out our vertical lines as you have seen me done on this pattern. These vertical lines are the shoulder line, the bust line, the waist line, the hip line. And after marking them, on each of these lines, we mark the horizontal measurements divided by 4. Those are the measurements we divided by 0.9. We shape the neckline as I have done, and also the armhole now. To get the armhole line, divide our newly derived round bust measurement, which is 34.2 by 6, then add 1.5 to it. That will determine how long our armhole depth will be, and that's what you have seen me calculate on that paper and then marked on the pattern paper. That will be our chest line. Connect the 2 points together and draw the armhole curve. Find the midpoints, go in by half an inch, and that will form our front armhole curve. Connect the points on the waist, bust, waist, and hip line to form our side seam. Sorry, this marking spanned out of the camera, but I just adjusted the pattern paper so you can see what I have done. Connecting the waist, bust, waist, and hip measurements. And now marking the armhole curve. Adjust the neckline as desired. That's what I'm doing here. I started with this basic 3 by 3 inches, but because I want the neckline deeper and wider, I just adjusted it, and I'm using my curved ruler to get the shape. After this, I'm cutting out the front pattern. Please note that sewing allowances have not been added to this pattern. I will do that on the fabric when I want to cut it out. And that's our pattern. The front body is cut out. Now let's draft the back bodice pattern. Get a fresh piece of pattern paper and place the front pattern on the fresh piece of pattern paper to draft the back pattern. I'm tracing now the front pattern on the back pattern. For the shoulder line, we are extending the back shoulder line by 1/2 inch so as to overlap it, and then using the curve ruler, I'm marking out the back armhole, which is 1/2 inch wider than the front armhole. So having adjusted this, I'm just using the front bodice to cut out the back bodice, and then we'll do the adjustments on the back bodice after this. Cut out the neckline of the back bodice. Set aside the front pattern piece and transfer the marking on the front pattern piece onto the back pattern piece so that we can now work on the back pattern. On the center back line, reduce the waist measurement by 1/2 inch. Connect the new line back to the chest line with a slant. Again, on the back waistline, add a dart on both sides of the waistline. Connect with 1/2 inch on both sides of the waistline and connect to the side seam to form a dart. This adjustment helps reduce the back length because the front shoulder to waist is usually longer than the back shoulder to waist because of the presence of bust on the front shoulder to waist measurement. If you don't do this adjustment, you will have folds along the waistline. With this, you eliminate the bulge that might likely come about on the waistline. Now it's time to cut our fabric. Now that we have our pattern pieces, place your pattern pieces on fabric and cut. Don't forget to add sewing allowances by the side and also zip allowance at the center back. Press your fabric well so you don't have wrinkles while cutting. And this is what I'm just going to do now. After ironing, I place the pattern on the fabric and cut out. I have hope you have enjoyed this video up to this point as much as I have enjoyed making the video. I don't want the video to be too long. Already it's pretty long. So to keep it this short, I'll demonstrate how to sew these pieces together in the next video. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on it. If you have found this video helpful, kindly like, share so that others too can benefit from it. Also subscribe to this channel so that you keep getting tutorials like this on how to make your sewing journey easier. Feel free to suggest any tutorial you'd like to see on this channel in the comment section. I would love to hear from you and I will be willing to make such tutorials. And until I come your way next time, my name is Sarah and this is Princess Fashion.